Okay guys, so today we will cover these three topics that we are looking at currently on the system. Okay, the first one will be the group by, how group by works. Okay, that will be the second point of this particular tutorial, and the third part will be when to use having and what is use of having clause and what is difference between having clause and where clause. Okay, so starting with the first topic, like the first part of this particular video, which is the group by. Okay, so what is group by? So when you try to find it on the W3 schools or any of the online platforms, right, so you will see majorly this definition, like group by statement groups rows that have the same values into summary rows, like find the number of customers in each country. Okay, so this is the definition of group by, and you will also find one more thing, like group by is often used with these aggregate function which are count, max, min, sum, average. Okay, so let's get back to our first point. What is group by and why is it required? Okay, the first thing first. Okay, so let's understand this part with an example. Okay, so first one was what is group by and why it is required, right? So we will talk about the requirement part. Okay, so let's suppose there is the question that we seen in the W3 schools, right? It shows find the number of customers in each country. Okay, so let's suppose you have the data, customer data. Okay, and customer data table looks something like this. Sorry for the drawing, but I'm not good at it. Okay, so for starter we will put 2-3 name. Okay, the first one is customer name. Okay, the second one will be the country of the customer. Okay, in which country he is located. Okay, and third one is, let's suppose, phone number, which we will not be using right now. Okay, so basically or the purchase, let's not put phone number because we can use this purchase amount. Okay, so customer name is X, country name is India. Okay, and the purchase amount is 5,000. Okay, customer name is Y, country name is Pakistan, and purchase amount is 3,000. Customer name is let's suppose Park. Okay, and his country name is again India, and his purchase amount is 500, let's suppose 50,000. And the next one is like Z, Pakistan, 5,500. T is the name of customer. He is also from India, and his purchase amount is 3,300, right? And also like Z from Pakistan, or let's put some other country like Canada, and his amount is 2,000. I mean, so when, like, what is the requirement of this group by? So one simple question. Okay, someone asks you is how many customers are there in each country. That's the simple question, and this is a table, this is a customer purchase table. Okay, from where you have to find out this answer for this particular question. Okay, so how you will write the query? If you know the SQL, right, then you will just go to the console and you will start writing the query something like this. Okay, you have to find the count of customer from each country. That's one simple question. Okay, so you will put something like this, select. Okay, you will put country, comma, count, customer. Okay, and again from this जो भी like CP table, right? And then you will put this group by country, right? So what happens when you write this query? That's the problem statement, right? So requirement of group by arises when you try to find or apply some aggregate function, but you also want to know based on some other column, right? So when you want to know in which country how many customers are there, right? So it will provide you something like this. Let's suppose country is the output table, or the backend processing will look something like this. India will be the one group, okay? And in India you will find X, okay, park, again T, right? Again the second group will be Y in second group will be, let's suppose, Pakistan, and the people will be Y, Z, that's it, okay? And the third group here will be Canada, where there is only one person, which is Z, right? So again, so this is the first step that compilers do when you write this above query. So this is what happens is, first it goes to from, like if you look at the precedency, how the SQL execution occur. If you go here and if you check the SQL execution order, you will see from and join occurs first, then where, then group by, then having, then select, then order and limit, right? So coming back to the topic. So what will happen is, first it will go to from, and from is after from there is a table name, right? So first it will select the table name, okay? It will select the entire data of the table, and then it will go to the group by and group by country. Then it will just group like this, okay? So entire table will be grouped based on the country, IN, P and Canada, okay? And based on that, again other data will be presented something like this, like X, park, T, X, Y, Z and Z. And then again you have what you have put, it will name as okay, country, and this is the customer name, okay? So now you are counting the customers, so it will just count this particular part, and it will just output something like this: India 3, Pakistan 2 and Canada is 1, right? So this will be the final output of this particular above query. All right, so this is why we have to use group by, because without group by, if you are going to count customers, then compiler doesn't know what to count and how to output the data. So group by just group the data based on the output and just show to the output console, okay? The second part, how group by works, okay? So group by works in this fashion only. To look at the clear picture, let's suppose we use multiple tables, right? We have multiple columns in terms of this, like we have this customer name, we have country, we have paid amount, right? So like I explained earlier, this is how grouping occurs. It first goes to from, and then it from table name, right? So from table name it select the entire table, okay, entire table, like the customer purchase table, and then it group by the country. Whatever column name you pass, it doesn't matter, if pass 2 columns or 3 columns, it will group by those first, okay? Grouping means unique or distinct combination, okay? So it will group by those first, and then it will perform whatever selection has been passed. If there is no having clause, okay, we'll move to the having also, okay? So next is when we try to find out the total amount each customer, or what is the spent of the customer on our website or purchasing the product, right? So to solve this, you write something like this, okay? You will write this particular query: select customer name from customer purchase table. Okay, then you will put group by, okay, customer name and sorry, this one, like some order amount, right, from this particular group by. Then you will do group by like customer name. You will do group by customer name, and then there is one other clause which is having. Okay, so having is nothing but it's act like a where clause only, but only for aggregated function columns like these, like sum, average, mean, max, whatever you are using over here. You can put the condition here, like let's suppose sum, okay, order amount is greater or equals to let's suppose anything like 5,000, right? So what it will do is it will just check for once this particular grouping happens, right? So what will happen first it will start grouping the data. Okay, so we have selected based on the customer name, right? So how many customer name we have? We have X, Y, P, Z, T, Z, right? So let's build one other table to simplify this. Okay, so let's suppose you have this name, okay, and you have amount. Okay, so name is something like this. Let's suppose X, X, Y, Y, Z, X, Y, and amount is 50, okay, 60, 20, 10, 20, 10, and 60. Okay, so what it will do is when you are putting this having clause, the first thing it will go to from, it will select entire table, then it will start doing group by. Okay, group by based on the customer name. So first thing happens is like it will put X, okay, and whatever the values are, like we have 50, okay, we have 60, and again we have this 10 over here, and X is over again, then it will put Y, and against Y it will put 20, it will put 10, and it will put 60, and again for next, which is Z. Okay, all right, so for Z it will put 20, right? So this will be the primal or the primary output after executing this group by part. Okay, then what happens is having part. Okay, right, so having starts occurring like when you put having, so having some order amount is greater or equals to 5,000 not, let's reduce this a bit to get the exact numbers. All right, so now what it will happen is it will start summing these order amount, so 50, 60, and 10. So it's like for X it's 120, for Y it's 70, 80, 90, right, and for Z it's only 20, right? So it will sum and it will check whether it's greater or equals to 50 or not. So this is greater or equals to 50, this is greater or equals to 50, this is not greater or equals to 50, right? So then the second step will be only these two, and it will be removed from the selection itself, because just like where clause, like where name is something, where salary is greater than something, similarly having works on the aggregated function, like whatever aggregated function you are using here, you can pass the aggregated function over here and you can apply the conditions. So now from these two the output will be generated, and output will be something like this: X 120 and Y 90. So this will be the final output of this particular table, right? Moving forward, okay, having clause versus where clause. So what is the major or primal difference between having clause and where clause? Okay, so wait, okay, so having versus where clause, right? So these two are entirely different. They works in the same fashion, but for two different groups. Where clause is only associated or works on the table itself, right? Whereas having works with the aggregate function group by. So whenever there is a group by that we are using in the query, right, we can use having with this particular group by, okay, and group by will only be used when aggregate functions are being used, okay. So basically group having is linked with the group by and aggregate function, whereas where clause is linked with the table itself, right. So let's understand this with one of the example from here, okay. Let's click on this, right. Okay, so we are just selecting count, country and something like this, okay. So if we look at this particular table itself, right, so we have customer ID, employee ID, order ID and shipper ID, right. So what we will do is we will use where clause and having clause both in this particular query and try to find out, okay, where the order date or the shipping ID is, let's suppose, greater than 2, right. We will try to apply this. So here what's happening is we have applied group by, okay, and then sorry, we will also apply where clause, where, what was the spelling, you have to check, shipper ID, SHIPPER ID is greater than 2, okay, and group by country having, just select this entire thing, okay, and having customer count is greater than 1, okay, or let's suppose 2, okay. So when you run this particular query, shipper ID is not there because of, okay, we have to check first customer table actually, okay. Let's suppose we will apply this on Germany, okay. So go back, okay. So we are using customer table actually. So my bad, where country is equals to, you will put this and Germany, right. Then when you run this particular query, you will get like country and count of customer ID where greater than 2, right. So what we are doing here is we are using these two functions like where clause here and the group by. So what group by is doing, suppose I put group by it's greater or equals to 12, greater than 12, right, and when you run this query it will output nothing because the count of customer is 11 and the country is Germany, so it will only filter for Germany. It already has filtered the entire data, like it will select first customer, then it will where clause will run and it will filter for Germany, and where the country name is Germany it will get those sub data set, right. Then it will perform group by based on the country, that's only Germany, right, and based on Germany then it will do having clause where count customer ID is greater than something. So in Germany we have only 11 customers, so if I put 12, right, and if I run this particular query it will output nothing, no result found, right. So this is the major difference between group by and the where clause, okay. So basically having and the where clause, so basically this having thing will always be used with the group by, whereas where clause will always be used with the table, okay, table data. you cannot use group by where clause here. Like let's suppose if you try to mention something like this, let's suppose let's put one alias as a, okay, or id, and if you try to put where id is equals to, or my bad, id is greater than or equals to 12, it will not work because id has not been created yet, right? So when you try to work, error, you cannot prepare the statement, misuse of aggregate count, right? So always remember these two things are pretty different, and I think that's it for today. If you have any query or any question, do let me know in the comment section below. Okay, I will be more than happy to help and comment section. And if you like or understand the video, do like it, and subscribe the video also, and share with your friends so that I can get maximum